I start my 2022 rutcation this year, October 26. I find myself the first morning hunting Sarah's family farm located in the driftless region of southwest Wisconsin. This area of Wisconsin was never covered by glaciers during the last ice age. The driftless region is made up of beautiful rolling hills, deep carved river valleys, and sandstone outcroppings in prime trout streams. But it's also a deer hunter's dream and a perfect place to kick off the rut. As we enjoy the morning sunrise, I breathe the fresh, crisp morning air. I decide to let out a couple blind grunts to break the morning silence. It wasn't long and we had a shooter buck coming our way. Oh, we had a fun morning. The outcome is not the outcome I was looking for, but welcome to the world of trying to do things the hard way. I'm sad to even say this, but he comes at 6 yards away. An absolute dream for somebody with a recurve. That was the shiniest silver platter served up buck he would ever have. And with my recurve, I'm point on at 15 yards. So when I come back to draw, I put my point at 15 yards where I want to hit and I let go. At 10 yards, I'm about 5 inches high. So in my brain, I'm quick doing ballistics and I'm thinking, well, at 6 yards, I'm going to need to aim just below or right at that armpit, which is what I did. And I shot, and that's exactly where my arrow hit. I mean, I missed grazing him by about that much, which clean miss, which is absolutely, if I'm going to miss, that's the one I want. I think I know what happened, and lesson learned. Aim where you want to hit. That evening, we headed back into the same stand. We watched a beautiful buck we called the mule deer buck because of his split G2s that ended up bedding down on the hillside approximately 120 yards away. The next morning, I find myself back in the same stand again, just below the crest of the steep ridge. With food to my west and a ridge bedding to my east, another shooter buck comes from the food and decides to head up the ridge just too far out of bow range for me. The morning of October 28th, Sarah and I head up the same ridge. However, this time we decide to move further along the ridge and set up on the edge of a food plot. By mid-morning, we had a buck behind us to our north. I let out some grunts and doe bleats and he was on his way in. The farm we were hunting is a very special place to Sarah's mother, Ann. This is her family farm that she grew up on. The hills were farmed by Sarah's grandfather, Wilmer. Draft horses were used to break the soil each spring and to pull large sleds filled with maple sap to be boiled down to maple syrup. Ann was also bow hunting with us, and she was out to get her first buck with a crossbow. The afternoon of October 29th, Sarah and Ann went up to a pop-up ground blind that was on the edge of a food plot. It wasn't long, and the mother-daughter team was in deer and some big bucks at that.
With the bucks being just out of crossbow range, they went from hunters to spectators of God's great outdoors. As the afternoon of November 1st comes, Sarah and Ann head back to the ground blind, and the mother-daughter team tries their luck one more time to get Ann her first buck.
We found a little bit of blood, some hair, and I'm just hoping we're going to find a deer in just a little bit. But that's good. Oh my goodness.
So here's lung blood.
Oh yeah.
So look at all those bubbles in there.
I am loving this.
So when you see that bubbles, that means a lung has been punctured. And congratulations, first buck.
All right. You found him?
He's piled up straight ahead.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Woohoo. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome work.
Thank you,
That's a
thank
great
you.
shot.
We are very excited. This is my first bow buck. Not the biggest we've seen, but I'm really happy with it.
After helping Ann process her buck, I decided to continue my vacation to the big woods public lands to the north. Wisconsin is known for its logging industry, and in the 1800s this was also known as the pineries, as it consisted of large sprawling white pine. A logger once wrote that a squirrel could run limb to limb from east side of Wisconsin to the west side without ever touching the ground. Today this area is made up of vast timber stands of white pines, oaks, tamaracks, and tag alders, which bear, wolves, bobcats, and even big bucks call home. November 7th, I head to an area that is a long hike in along the edge of a marsh. Just after daybreak, I spot a doe across the marsh. Out of nowhere, a big buck steps out and heads over to scent check the doe. With a bunch of grunts, bleats, and snort wheezes, I try my best to call the buck over for a closer look. Much to my surprise, it actually worked. The afternoon of November 9th, I decided to take a boat down the river to a hard-to-access location. As I set up in the saddle, it doesn't take long for the action to start. The next couple of days, a warm front moved in and deer movement came to a halt. A major cold front was predicted to start in the next couple of days, bringing record lows with the possibility of snow. With the start of a major cold front brings peak deer activity. I knew that with this cold front, the driftless region of southwest Wisconsin was calling my name, and I took advantage of that rain at the back of the warm front to travel south and to be at the farm for the next morning's hunt. With the arrival of the cold front, the morning of November 11th begins to heat up quickly.
I am actually sick to my stomach. I don't know what's going on. I just missed the biggest buck of my entire life, and that's not an exaggeration. That thing was huge. The mass on him was unbelievable. He came in, it was 15 yards. Everything felt good. The pin was on him. The shot looked good. My marks on my rest looked good. I don't know what happened. I shot like 2 feet in front of him. I don't know if I pulled. I'm going to have to watch the shot sequence on the GoPro to see what happened. I know I have a lot of clothes on and my hands there, but everything felt good. So I'm done hunting right now because that shot was so far off. I shot my bow yesterday, and yesterday it was dead on. And I'm not hunting right now. I'm going to get down, grab that arrow, and I'm going back. I'm going to take some shots just to make sure something didn't get bent or screwed up. I find it hard to believe. I'm thinking I had to have pulled the shot maybe, but I don't want to blame it on equipment unless I can shoot it and find out. Right now, I'm going to claim error for that.
The shot on the buck was approximately 2 feet in front of him. With my shot being that far off, I was afraid that it was an equipment issue. So I immediately crawled down from the tree and headed back to the house. After shooting my bow, my arrow was spot on and showed no signs of equipment issue. Afraid to admit it, but it was a shooter issue. Several days later, we are set up overlooking a cut-across logging road where we have now watched the mule deer buck bed down twice in the last 2 weeks. I started out by doing a rattling sequence using my mule deer antlers that I find fitting as we're after the buck that we call the mule deer buck. The mule deer buck must have not read the script. However, a big half rack or a screwed up rack buck did read the script, and it wasn't long and he was working his way in. With the buck spotting us in a tree that evening, I watched my vacation come to an end. It was time to head home. I've been very blessed and have had an amazing season. I've had my opportunities, way more than once, and that is all that one could ask for. The next day was November 14th. I had to head back to work, and not wanting to hear that old fat lady sing, I just couldn't quite call it a season yet. So I figured I would sneak out and just get one last hunt in behind our house, even if it's just for an hour and a half. So before sunup, I headed to the stand on our small piece of property that Sarah and I call the ranch.
Big buck down on the ranch. We call this place the ranch. This is just 45 acres, small piece of property that me and Sarah bought a couple of years ago. Started planting this spring. I did a food plot. I'm all excited here. We did a blockers and how to, planting blockers and kind of some no-till method with a grain drill. He come along that field that we were filming on, and he come along that edge, and I grunted at him because he was actually going to head south, and he turned and he come right through, gave me about a 22, 23 yard shot, and I have to watch the footage, but as I let go, he spun, it looked like he spun into the arrow, drilled him into the chest, and obviously put him down in his tracks. I could see the blood coming right out of him. It sliced probably that carotid artery on him. I'm not going to brag about that shot. That is not pretty. I wish it would have been a better shot than that. I did not expect him to spin into it like that, or the way that one turned out, but whew, he's down. What a season. Oh, what a season. Unbelievable. It's been a hard season. I don't know what's going on with me here. I started out in Nebraska, phenomenal. Like, I'm just drilling bullseyes, no problem. And I think I missed that first buck with the recurve, and it started to get in my head, and I can feel myself getting punchy to take that shot. That's a form of target panic is what it is. I missed the biggest buck of my life down in the driftless region. My rutcation is over. I'm actually supposed to get back and do some work here today. I figured, well, I'm going to come out this morning and do a 2-hour morning hunt, and here it is. Talk about bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and having it come together. Oh, what an awesome buck. He's a beautiful buck. I am beyond ecstatic with this. I've had my entire season. I've enjoyed it. What an adventure. What an adventure. I love it. Let's get down. We got to take a look at this buck. I think this is a tall guy we were getting on the trail camera. Look at the mass on him though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is an awesome buck. Oh, right in on the neck is where it went in on. Right up here. Unbelievable. Look at that. Oh yeah, like I said, I am not proud of that shot. I got to be developing target panic, or something's going on. I reviewed the video footage before I got down because I wanted to see what happened, and that shot looked like it was already being pulled a little bit forward as he turned, but it worked. I don't want to be like, well, it worked, so what, blah blah blah, but because like I said, I'm not exactly proud of the shot, but I do know that this is something that I have to nip in the bud for next year. I'm going to be doing a ton, and not that I already ain't, but I'm going to be doing a ton of practice, doing a lot of mental work on that shooting so that I can get rid of that target panic. But it goes to show you, I've shot upwards of 60, 70 deer with my bow. That's not an exaggeration. It doesn't matter how proficient you are, you can develop bad habits pretty quick. You can develop target panic pretty quick. It happens to the best of us. The thing is, I need to get over that and acknowledging that you have it and not ignoring it or blaming it on equipment. So that is going to be the big thing. But enough of that. We're going to get a better look at this guy. Let's get him posed up. Let's get some photos. Let's get a better look at this guy.
It's funny how I save up my vacation to use for the fall. I spend days, even weeks from work, in a tree saddle. I travel across the state hunting marshes, bluffs, rivers, and white pine swamps. And here I shoot a beautiful buck the day I go back to work in my own backyard. I was talking hunting with my church pastor just the other day, and I told him my story. He replied, "When it comes to hunting, God has quite a sense of humor." Looking back at my season, I can't help to think just how true that is. We just need to keep an open mind to see his sense of humor. From all of us at bowhunting.com, thank you for watching. Bow Hunt or Die. The shot felt good, and I would have sworn to you that I could have messed that. I couldn't have. Blah. Retake. The benefit of having these cameras is that it gives you the ability to review yourself in the heat of the moment and to review your movies. Blah. Damn it. Retake.